PDR Tool Time, your industry podcast, tools, reviews, and stories. Thanks for joining us for another episode of PDR Tool Time. This is episode 148, brought to you by Magnatech Mat, Mobiletech RX, Hog Glue, and Edgy Tools, where you will get 15% off by typing in PDRTT15 at checkout. How are you guys? Daniel Grom, our other host, and John Renstrom, the other host. What's going on, guys?
Dude, you forgot one of our sponsors.
Who's that?
Hog Glue, but what about Hog Tabs?
Well,
you left out Hog Tabs.
Hog Tabs.
What the hell?
I can't get on board with Hog Tabs just yet. I just got them the other day. I don't know if they're any good or not.
Yeah, me too. I haven't tested it either.
That's awesome. All right.
But you know what?
So much for that. I was going to bring it up, but I guess problem solved now. Nobody knows what they're like.
Exactly. But you know what? That's the integrity of PDR Tool Time. When you come here, you're getting the real deal. We are the men, three of us, men on the streets actually fixing dents on a daily basis. So we try these tools. We talk about the tools, and we know what we're talking about because we use them. Ain't that right, Daniel?
That's right.
In fact,
I'm averaging 8 cars a day, every day.
Still?
That's why I don't get time to do videos or anything.
That's why he doesn't answer Facebook posts.
And I don't answer Facebook or my Boxer or any of those things. And I don't respond because I'm freaking working.
Dude, I got to tell you, it doesn't matter what part of the country I go to or in England. Everyone tells me, Daniel Grom, what's up with Daniel Grom? Why does he put posts and doesn't respond to the freaking posts?
Because I get back to it like a couple days later.
It's already, past the point at that point.
Everybody forgot.
I'm a busy guy.
Obviously, nobody's broke any tabs because it would have been on Facebook. So
sure. Yeah.
Nobody's actually got the tabs. I mean, except for people that went to Anson.
Yeah, that just did, because last at the Christmas show was when you guys debuted the tabs, correct?
Yeah. Correct, yes.
Actually, it's the first time I saw them. So, they're, and be fair, so these tabs really are a collaboration between me and Craig. And Craig is more knowledgeable about glue and tabs than anybody on the planet, in my opinion.
Oh, you're not kidding there.
I totally agree. The guy's a chemist.
Guy knows so much.
Chemist.
And he sent me a shitload of tabs, and then he separated them in bags, and this is this plastic, and this is what this does. And so I lined up all these different plastics, and then he goes, okay, these are all the molds that we have, and what do you want for tabs? And I really kind of targeted towards Hale guys. So I was really looking, and they're smaller tabs. They're not large or anything like that. So
okay,
they're really made for Hale guys.
Out of the Hale game.
And I was like, well, I personally prefer a small or a smooth tab. So of course I went with those molds, and those are, I found out later that he was the first ones to come out with smooth tabs. And, so anybody saying anything else, I'd like to disagree, but that said, and so that was easy. That was the easy part, but testing all the different plastics, he would tell me the characteristics, and I would test them to see if I got those same results. Cause I had strong opinions about the plastics and things.
Sure.
And, we ended up landing on this one plastic, and he goes, well, that's great because we haven't done a smooth tab in that plastic, and it's the Punisher plastic.
So does it have instead of like, well, we'll use root beer because that's hot all over Facebook every time somebody breaks a root beer tab, it gets posted. So would it be more flexible than, say, the rigidness of like the root beer tab?
Yeah, it pulls a little bit more of a center in the tab. The other thing I found out about tabs is like he goes, well, you can soak these in alcohol. I go, oh, I thought you could soak all tabs in alcohol. No.
He came on our show and told us that any colored colored tab should be soaked in alcohol. Anything clear should not be soaked in alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah.
You weren't paying attention.
Yeah, that was kind of the rule. So that was nice. And I found out later that the Punisher plastic is Tom Price's favorite plastic. And there's tabs made. Tom Price.
Who?
Tom Price.
Tom
Price.
Tom Price.
I love Tom Price, and Tom Price, he was he did a lot of things in glue pulling that surprised me. When I first started glue pulling, I kind of poo-pooed it. I was like, no. And Tom was like one of the first ones to embrace it, which is usually the opposite. I'm usually the one that embraces stuff, and he usually poo-poos.
I'm just giving Tom a hard time. I've known Tom for years as well. Not as long as you have, but I've known Tom for years.
And luckily, I made the smart move of calling Tom and say, hey, what am I doing wrong? He gave me a lot of great advice early on in glue pulling. And then I saw he posted a video, this is years ago, where he raced somebody. They drew a line down a hail car, and he glue pulled one side, and another guy on the other side did conventional repair. And they tied. They actually tied, and that really opened up my eyes. And I go, okay, if he can glue pull as fast as conventional, that's saying something.
Yeah.
And that's when I started embracing glue pulling.
Yeah.
See, I came into paintless dent repair. Glue Worth had really splashed the market. A1, shortly after I started, A1 released their first kit. So it's like, glue pulling was already there. It was just, I leapt into it,
Yeah.
I didn't have to go through the transition period.
It was really our industry that refined it. Mastered it.
Oh,
but now, I mean, we are seeing it go huge towards collision, with a lot of what Kiko's got doing, Cam Auto with what they're doing, and now I'm seeing it more and more in the collision groups.
So I just got a test kit from Cam Auto, so I get to test that out. So I'm excited about that.
They got it's some amazing stuff. I think I'm recommending to body shops, that they need both the Cam Auto and what Kiko offers.
Well, the one thing about the Cam Auto is they have exclusive rings.
The rings. Yeah.
The rings. And there's no tools in our industry that work on that except for the hustle stick.
Yep.
Back to the hustle stick.
Well, it follows back to the old body tools, the wiggle wire, the pull rods, it's the updated version of that same equipment that body shops have been using.
So I'm excited to try it out with the hustle stick. It's made for heavier collision stuff, but I'll get back to you guys on that.
Okay, so all in all, we just to recap, we don't know if the hot glue tabs are worth a dime or not.
I'll get back to you.
We will get back to you, and we'll get back to you with our honest opinion and honest working man's opinion. Technicians that are actually.
I got two that I'm going to do even after the first of the year. My own vehicles are both smashed with hail, so I'll have to get me a set. Call Anson and order up a full set.
If anybody wants to do a review on them and stuff, I'll send them to PM me, and I'll send you some.
Yeah,
there you go, everybody. Anybody who's been saying nobody sends me free stuff,
I might have just opened my
private message, Daniel. Well, we've already discussed that. He should respond in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes, there should be a new tab out by then, and a new glue on the market.
Right.
Yes. Why don't you make it the first 10 that respond?
Okay, that's better. Thank you, Vin. Thanks for saving my butt.
Yeah.
So first 10 to respond, PM me, and
get
free tabs.
To be fair, we should throw out a little bit of a disclaimer. Daniel is taking cold medication heavily because he's got a bad cold.
Oh,
yes, thank you.
We're not making him sound out the big words because it sounds like Donald Duck.
Yes.
Yeah. I went to Texas and with a bunch of people.
I got you sick. I want to claim this one because I came back from England sick. I've been battling a cold for 2 weeks, and Daniel and I once again had to share a room, and he chased me out of the room, pulling off the paint off the walls again. The first night I was on the couch.
The second night.
Yeah, and then So I paid you back the second night. I had enough drinks in me the second night that I wasn't going to wake up at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But which brings us to, myself and Daniel, we were in Texas this past weekend for the Anson Christmas party. And later on, we're going to have Don Kavanagh chime in here about his awesome Christmas party that he
killing it for the first
time ever. Yeah. Just
so how was
but Anson killed it also, man.
Anson. So Eric Garvis and I were just together, and he told me a little bit about it. But come on, fill us in, the rest of it.
Eric is awesome, dude. I wish you guys all lived closer, because Eric is a really nice guy and really nice to hang out with. And I never really get a chance to hang out with Eric. John, I hang out with you for an hour every week, but or more. But Eric, it was nice to get to know him, and that was the cool part about Anson this time at the Christmas party. Was there was no real big tool sales or anything. It was all about the kids and collecting toys and just a family atmosphere, and it was really cool. There's probably, I would say, maybe 70, 80 technicians that had probably passed through with their families. There's a lot of wives and kids running around. Santa Claus showed up, which happened to be Clifton.
I saw those photos. That's awesome. That's the largest Santa Claus in the country.
Oh, he was huge. Yeah. You know what? He didn't scare any of the kids. I thought maybe like the claw was going to scare the kids away. But,
he was holding the bell with that, so it covered.
Yeah.
Covered.
I was surprised they found a Santa suit in super extra big guy.
He actually bought it. He brought it himself. That's his own personal Santa suit.
What is he, 6'6"?
He's a big dude.
The guy is huge.
Yeah. And one of the nicest guys you could ever come across.
Oh, yeah. Awesome people.
Salt of the earth.
And Chad Peters showed up from Endeavor Tools and did his premiere there. And
nice.
If you haven't checked out Endeavor Tools, so everybody go out and buy his window hanger, the small window hanger. You will absolutely love it.
The window or the gate hanger, that's
the
cool
window hanger. Every guy can use. Everybody can use that one for sure.
Yeah,
and it's stellar. So start with that one.
But I got a chance to mess around with his rod and the adjustable slide handle, after we had him on the show, and when I did the Anson Roberts Rocky Mountain Tech Meet in Colorado.
What'd you think?
They're pretty badass. Yeah, I think the rods are pretty cool.
Isn't it amazing how stable it is?
Now, I didn't get to push any dents with it at all. Nobody let me touch the Porsche. Dang it. But I would, if I was still going to be doing that daily, I'm going to try to transition more into just the large dents while I'm working for Mobile Tech. I would be ordering one of his hail rods.
Well, here's the thing, John. At Anson on Saturday, that was probably one of the number one tools sold was the hail rods. Everyone was on them and fixing dents on hoods, and they actually sold a lot of those. And I don't even think that they were intending on it. It was just more of a showcase. Hey, Chad is here. He's showing his thing, and next thing you know, they're flying out the door.
Yeah, I think it's great. I want to see tool companies succeed.
Yeah,
these guys that come out with something new and completely different.
Yeah, it happened to be a lot of older guys, because the older guys really appreciate when you start pushing on it. You're not using your wrist strength. You're using an open palm when you're pushing down on it, and it doesn't fatigue your forearm like a round tool does.
Round stock.
Guys everywhere are going to lose that, forearm of a high school loner. It's like
the two different forearms, two different size forearms. Yeah, I got it.
You're not ambidextrous enough.
I am ambidextrous enough. I just don't.
I did not realize mine are like the same size. I don't. Mine are. What did you do there?
I'm not. I'm two different sizes.
No, you know what? Dent Wizard guys are all lopsided. They also got a trapezoid that is lopsided. If you look at their traps are one side of their traps is always higher than the other.
What's a trap?
Right there. Trapezoid.
Oh, gotcha.
From your neck down
top
to your
shoulder.
I've never worked out in my life. I don't know that lingo.
My local Dent Wizard, you look at him, he's like totally lopsided.
Because we work upside down.
He's like an internet cartoon.
Yeah.
So what are some of the tools that you saw there at Anson?
Well, I came home with a mixed bag of stuff that I really wanted. I'm a big fog board guy. I grew up using a yellow fog board. There's been other fog boards out there that I've looked at, and they really haven't really grabbed me all that much. But the tequila fog boards made by Dead on Dents just came out.
Woody Koss?
Yeah, Woody Koss came out with like 4 different versions right now, and I'm sure he's going to expand it. So I'm like, I took all 4 of them home with me.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw you post some pictures of it. Is the definition that much more intense?
It is more intense. It is, because
he killed it.
He did. With the problem that I have with people printing out line boards or fog boards is that you usually see that dot matrix in the orange peel.
Right.
It drives me nuts. It doesn't transition over. You see a pattern. I don't want to see a pattern. I want to see every push look like orange peel. You know what I mean? So when Woody, and I'm sure Amanda, she's the graphic artist, she probably came up with it. She's the brains behind it, really, isn't she?
Well, we weren't going to say that, but now that the cat's out of the bag.
So I immediately gravitated to it once I saw it at Anson.
Not only you, but a lot of people.
But you don't get that dot matrix.
You don't get it. You don't even see it. And I'm trying to hyper focus for it in the panel, and you don't see it at all.
I was looking up on it close because I was trying to figure out how he was making this.
Amanda got the good printer.
She did.
It was pretty good.
My only bad part about it is the tequila logo's on there, which is fine, but it's a little bit too big. It needs to be the head. I need a shrunken head.
Well, did you send that off to Woody? I think when I saw the pictures, it looked like it was pretty good size, and I can see how that would.
Is it really going to affect you?
Well, sometimes when you have a larger dent, then you're using the full length of the board, because I'm doing smashes all the time.
Are those boards just for the smaller lights, like the Illumident, the Carl Stuckey?
Right now, the only ones that I've seen is for the Illumident 14-inch and 20-inch.
Okay.
It's going to work on version 2 and version 3, which I have both of them. I checked both of them out, and they work fine. I have a 20 and a 14.
Okay.
So I don't think he's released any for Stuckey Light just yet. I don't know if it's going to work on a Stuckey Light. Stuckey Lights are very narrow.
Yeah, he's working on. He actually PM'd me about working on a D&E light. Doing
for the full size.
Yeah, that I can see.
And those lenses are actually glued on with 2-sided tape. I found out, and so you have to carve it off, and replace it. So.
Are you talking about the D&E?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I PM'd the owner of the D&E and asked him how those are put on, because I tried to take mine off. Mine fell over and I chipped the corner, and I was trying to see how it was put on there.
So you went and bought a whole new one. So now you have a second one.
I do have a second one.
Yeah. That's a way of replacing
I bought one because they had a Black Friday deal and $150 off. I'm like, you know what? I'm too lazy to take my light from one side of the car to the other, so I need two.
I've got 3 full-size lights, but as a Hale guy, that's kind of where it's at.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that our listeners need to know too is we do buy our tools. Yes, we do get tools for free, but we do buy our tools as well in our reviews and stuff that we talk about here. We're talking about tools.
But I want to support these small tool makers like Endeavor and stuff like that. It's like, and which I haven't ordered anything from Endeavor, and I haven't ordered anything since I made the decision to go to work full time for Mobile Tech. Just because I don't have a chance to run a fair review. I'm only doing 1 or 2 cars a week, and I'm scrambling like crazy. I'm flying all over the country doing stuff.
Yeah.
So life has just been intense. I look forward to it.
I'd like to say this: meeting Chad in person. This guy's a stellar guy. He really, really cares about what he's doing. He cares about the industry.
Yeah.
He's going to be one of the greats. And I'm looking forward because he's a young guy, and this is what we're supporting at PDR Tool Time. These young guys getting into, because they're our future, and they're going to be inventing some great stuff down the line.
Oh yeah,
this is just the beginning.
Yeah, and where the tool technology has come along, heck, that just goes right along to the tab stuff that we were talking about at the beginning of the show. Everything is just coming around so much, and metallurgy is changing, but then changing the shape. Look at Stanliner, changing the shape of the tip and how you change your push, going from brute force to a fine finesse. You know, it's just taking the toll off of the body. You know, and people are they're getting better. You're working. I mean, right now the tools are so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm producing so much more. Even if we take away the dollar aspect of everything, and you just look at the level of cars that I can produce in the same hours, now compared to 10 years ago, you know, and a lot of it has to do with, you know, good solid carbon fiber rods that have no flex, where every bit of your push is shoved through to the tip. You're not Bowflexing all day long.
Yeah.
You know?
And then the glues too. The technologies with the glues. You know,
exactly.
There's still the guys that are using the Walmart glue. I get it. You don't want to pay for the good stuff, but the good stuff is actually making you more money. It's making you faster, less time on that repair of each dent by less tools.
I will say, I still have the Walmart glue.
Right, you know? And you have it in one gun, but you also have the
plug your ears, honey.
What's that?
But Christina, plug your ears, honey.
Right.
But no, actually, but I also have Hog, I have Root Beer, I have
Dentrex,
and then Tab Weld as well, and those are my 4 premium. And I keep, because I'm working in the body shops all the time, I do a lot of previously painted automobiles.
Sure.
So I also have a lot of the old tabs, the tabs that are not near as aggressive as, say, Tequila, Gangrene, and Black Ice.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of those tabs, and I'll use that and that weaker glue when I'm doing a rail. I'll wax it, and then I'll use those on a refinished rail.
Sure.
And I'll just run down this year. I haven't pulled a refinished panel paint yet. I have pulled OEM paint, and more with Root Beer glue than with Hog glue.
Oh.
Root Beer is a little bit more brittle, and it gives a much harder snap. Like the elasticity in Hog, which unfortunately makes it not friendly in cold weather.
You're right, exactly.
But
none of the glues are friendly in cold weather.
No, not really. But
they all get brittle.
Yeah, but some have a little bit better, you know.
Yeah.
If Hog does not like to get brittle, Hog glue does not like to get brittle, and it gets brittle really, really fast if it's too cold.
Yeah.
I like to get the panel up warm, and man, but we're doing phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, stuff that we wouldn't be able to do 10 years ago.
10 years ago, we'd have never bid any of it.
No.
And then I think, man, where are we going from here?
Yeah, it's exciting.
There's
a lot of good things coming. We have MTE right around the corner, and we're all getting a little taste of all these new tools coming out. And
speaking of getting a taste, you know what I got a taste of? I got to meet with Eric Graves.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
you guys got a pretty good walkthrough, didn't you?
I got a really good walkthrough of the new mobile tech. And guys, listen to me when I say your minds are going to be blown away. I really got to dive deep into it, and I'm like going, oh my God, give it to me now.
It was funny because I was walking around with the camera, and every time I came near Eric with the camera, he's like, whoop, you know, hiding it from me. Nope, not yet.
I'm starting to throw out little teaser shots. I threw out a few of the new photos section today. I left them up for about an hour in one person's thread, and then I deleted the photos off there. But we're gonna be throwing out some teaser stuff. There's gonna be the redesign. I cannot give our programming team, our developer team, enough credit. The little stuff, you know, we talk every week, and sometimes I'm able to give you guys some stuff, but it's ultimately you can't go through. There's probably been 10,000 tweaks that just make everything smoother and faster and cleaner, and our development team has gone just over the top on this.
That's great.
Can we give maybe a little teeny?
How
little
about
thing?
The paint? That really.
Can we talk about the paint?
Talk about the paint screen.
All right. What do you guys want to know about the paint screen?
Okay, when you scan the VIN, what comes up now?
All right. So And these are a couple videos that I will get out.
We didn't talk about this before the show, guys. So
no, this is
we're putting,
and John, if
on the spot.
So,
we don't want to get you in trouble. So
Yeah.
if
No,
you
no,
can't
no.
Talk about
If
it.
we're
because nobody
overstepping.
can. At this point, MTE is a month out, and this took of our developer team and Eric. So this took everybody a very, very, very long time to do this.
Right.
So what we did was, when you scan the VIN now, when you get in, and we've talked about this on the show before, when you hit scan VIN, it goes straight into the camera, and then you scan that VIN, and
that's a big deal, guys. That's right there. So
that one step,
it goes straight into the camera. It's not a
a
separate.
massive amount of time.
Yeah.
You scan that VIN, it goes straight into the colors, and it gives you the exact colors available for that year, make, and model. The colors available. Right now, our system does that as well. But this actually gives you a little color swatch as well.
And for the painters out there, what does it give the painters?
The exact factory color name.
And code.
And code on some of them.
So there's some that have the code, some that don't. But Ford is pretty good about kicking back the color codes.
Uh-huh.
So
not all of them, but some.
Yeah. And as soon as you press that color and it says okay, then it populates all that information. Then that exact vehicle in that exact color goes at the top of your estimate.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Now,
really
that might not sound like a big deal, but that is a big deal. I mean,
no, it does.
The wow factor on it is just through the roof. Every time we do any demo, like we've been doing a lot of where we want to change the world meetings here, and that's what I've been flying out to, and that's part of what I'm going to be heavily involved in next year. And every time we get a hold of one of these companies, now these are people that have dealt with every estimating system on the planet. And we hit them with the new walkthrough, and you do that. And we actually forgot a barcode once. So I had to Google vehicle VIN codes, and I had it up on my desktop, and then Eric slammed it on my iPad Pro, a 10-inch screen, and this bright red BMW shoots up. On the tablet, it's going to come up on the left-hand side. And then all of the car information now is going to populate. The number of doors, the engine, the transmission, all of that information is now going to be right there at your fingertips.
It's a cool feature. It's a cool feature.
That is nothing compared to everything else.
No, of course. That's why I thought that one would be
your whistle.
That would just be a little teaser that wouldn't release, too much information.
Yeah, no.
But it's going to be released at MTE, right?
It will be released at MTE. We actually have a classroom on Thursday from 4 to 6. So there's going to be Paul Cordon's going to come in and speak at that classroom. So we're going to go through a lot of the new build, the new features, what's faster, what's cleaner, try to do a good hour of Q&A. We're going to have a lot of meeting times. There's going to be a lot of one-on-one, stop by, come in, check it out. It's the new build is going to blow you away. And it's just going to be a nice, smooth transition, and people are just going to go crazy over it. I mean, it was so much work. If you do the manual entry of the year, make, model, then it will still populate after you pick that color and put that on the vehicle up. And that vehicle stays. So when you're scrolling through your estimate list, it even stays in your estimate list.
Yeah.
So you can just pop to it quickly.
It's awesome. It's cool. And, like we just said, that's so minuscule in the realm of all the other things that are coming out on it. It's freaking awesome. But
it is. But Eric had to manually build that section to do the manual input onto it. And I don't even remember how long. I think he said it took him like almost 6 weeks.
Oh, geez.
It was insane amount of work. And he had to tie in that color to 345,000 makes and models.
Oh, wow.
So I've been giving him huge pats on the back.
But you know what? John, who better to do it than a dent guy? That's what we do, is deal with monotony and boring, fixing dents. It's very monotonous. Yeah,
our dev team killed it though. I mean, the whole new crew that we've hired this year, Everybody has clicked and meshed, and we've got just a monster crew cranking out heavily on this thing.
That's awesome.
And we're not even going to get everything in that we wanted in. We will start having releases probably 2 weeks after.
That's the other thing I got. That's the other thing I got privy to is he showed me the stuff that didn't make it in, and actually I was excited about that stuff as well because I have a little bit of something to do with that, but that will come later.
Yeah, unfortunately, and even down to within the last couple of weeks, there was a few things that we were having to be like, okay, look, let's just move it back because we have to get the whole thing up and functional, and if we concentrate on that, we're going to have something not working at the show, and we don't want
which is
that.
Understandable.
Yeah. So but truly, this will blow all of Mobile Tech RX users away, and it's going to reset the bar.
So I want to make an announcement right now. So last year, January 1st, I started Mobile Tech RX, right? And we went full on, all in. This year, if I hit my goal at the end of the month, I will have made $100,000 more this year. And it's all because of Mobile Tech RX. $100,000.
Wow.
Nice.
That's no joke. That is no joke.
That's not chump change.
No. That is purely because of our estimate. And Tony, my office gal that does all our estimates, she says the same thing. It's all because of Mobile Tech RX. We absolutely love you guys.
Yep.
Well, we appreciate
maybe you should stop paying for it now.
Shut up. This show is brought to you by Mobile Tech RX.
We actually hear that quite a bit, and we're actually stepping in, and
charging more.
PDR companies have promoted us so heavily amongst themselves and across Facebook that we're actually branching out with GlassWeld. I can throw that out too. There's going to be a whole glass portion in the app that premieres. And we partnered with GlassWeld for glass companies because those guys are hurting just as bad as PDR for good software.
Yeah.
So,
well,
that's good.
There's other companies besides GlassWeld. I just listened to Mike's interview with Dano, and his new website will be supporting it as well.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. We have a couple episodes coming up here. We have Dan Ontrop from Dents. He's got a new program. He's going to be coming on our show in the next couple weeks. We also have the man himself, Tomas Stanliner. He's going to be coming on our show.
Nice, awesome.
Yeah, long awaited person that we've been talking for years and been friendly with. We were finally getting him on the show to talk about the stuff that's coming out.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
everybody's got something new for MTE. MTE this year is going to be huge. It's going to be a new venue, so it'll be all new and exciting. It's going to be different, new hotel. So I'm looking forward to all the change and making things different.
We're dragging some people in that didn't even know it existed. They're not repair related. They are integration related, software related, and they're learning about paintless dent repair companies and how we work with insurance companies and some of the work that we're doing. So we got some of those guys.
Talking about your staff.
No, they're not our staff. These are other companies. They're outside companies that they did not realize the scope of what we as paintless dent repair people do and how it is that we assist the insurance companies.
Yeah.
So we're looking at we got them coming in and just seeing the industry and get a chance to learn about it.
Blow them away.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were surprised. People. I can't tell you how many times people go, "So do you do dents all day?"
Yeah.
Is this a full-time job?
Right.
Yeah, it's not just a hobby.
Yeah.
Well, it is my hobby, but because I love it, though.
Right.
Yeah. I still, I just had this conversation with another dent tech just the other day, and it was like, freaking love it. I still get this just killer sense of satisfaction when you knock one out of the park.
Yeah. Nothing better.
Yeah. It's great.
Well, cool. Well, guys.
Well, we didn't need to turn this into an MTRX commercial.
No, well, yeah. But
no, it's in the news. It's in the news. So
it's in the news, and it's coming, and we're talking about the future here of future tools that's coming out. You know, the whole tequila line from Anson that's out right now. You know, they didn't even wait for MTE.
Heavy too.
That's just growing big and bigger and better, and A1 is making them high quality. TDN has something revolutionary coming out. It's not game changing, but it is something that is going to be really cool that everyone's going to want to see at MTE. And you know, I'm excited. It's that time of year. I start getting excited about MTE rolling around.
Yeah, don't forget, everybody. It's early this year.
Yes, second week.
Early. Second
Weekend. Yep. So now we have Don Kavanagh, Mr. Don, the Donald, all the way from Minnesota. How you doing, Don?
Doing well, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hey, Donnie boy, how are you?
I'm doing well, Danny. How are you, man? You are the handsome man. Look at you tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, he got his hair cut and everything. He's looking all respectable.
I did. I gotta go get my passport, so I had to look decent.
Oh.
Where are you headed?
I can't. Well, my kids aren't here, but we're going on a Caribbean cruise. Yeah, we're going on a Caribbean cruise.
Is it
Disney Caribbean cruise?
Is
of course.
Caribbean or Caribbean?
Well, it depends on how much rum you drank.
Right.
And we're going to go see some rum distilleries, which I'm really excited about.
That'll be awesome.
Oh, that'll be great.
That'll be awesome.
Fantastic.
That'll be your home away from home there. I know you love the rum.
That's right. Arr.
Yeah.
Arr, me.
All right.
Arr.
Well, yes,
Mr.
we brought
Don.
Don on, the Don himself. We just had you on like a month ago, but we wanted to bring you back because this is the first time that you've run the Dent for Kids program up in Minnesota at your shop. And
he killed it.
You killed it, man. You had a whole bunch of technicians from all over the place, and you were on the news. You were here, there, everywhere, and we just want to applaud. You know, what a wonderful job you did.
Oh, thank you, man. I just I'm so humbled by the whole thing and how many people got involved around our area, and I happen to know a few guys that I do dents for. They're in the media, and that helped us a lot. And people were so gracious with getting the word out for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we want to also encourage other guys next year to maybe this might encourage them to do it next year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How many techs did you have show up to help?
We had 19 in that picture. I don't know if anybody saw that video. We had 19, but about 4, I thought it was 6, but about 4 guys had left. So we had like 23 guys total. Amazing.
And are these local techs?
Most of them, yep. Everybody was Minnesota guys. They're Minnesota bred. And
this is your competition, right?
Well, it kind of is and isn't, man. We're all over the place. Some guys came from a few hours out, and we're just so gracious with their time. And we're all friends anyway. And I've trained a handful of those guys, and there's room for all of us. That's the cool part.
No, that's what's great about our industry.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know. It's so many times I remember, you know, even a short, this is my 28th year or something like that. It's crazy. But so many times back in the old days, it was just so weird. Nobody, you know, you'd walk up to someone and they'd slam their toolbox down and they'd turn around and they'd give you your back, you know, and it was, you know, things have changed. And I want to thank you guys right here on this podcast and a few others around that have helped that, you know, because it's not about that. It's about helping each other get to the next level. I don't know about you guys, but within about maybe a 50-mile radius of us, there's probably 500 body shops, and they're all keeping busy. So what the hell? There's 25 dent guys. I mean, there's enough for all of us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with you, Don. You know, industry-wide, this whole Dents for Kids program or Toys for Tots or whatever thing that you wanted to call it, it was astounding this year how many different shops, even over in England, they did it for TDN, but there was nationwide. I think as an industry, it shows how giving of an industry we are. You know, we have these raffles for people that are in need, which is great, but we also come together when Christmas is around or the holidays are around, and we come together and we put our differences aside. Some of them are competition. You know, it's not as great everywhere else, but everyone comes together and does these fundraisers, and I think it's a beautiful thing, and it shows the true personable industry that
True
we do
nature.
have, the true nature of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of giving individuals in paintless dent repair. It's amazing. We hold a fundraiser, and it goes through the roof every single time anybody holds a PDR fundraiser. So
I think
but it's just awesome to see, Don, you pull that together your first time, and it's probably one of the largest dents for kids in the country.
It's amazing. I just couldn't believe it. It did take about 3-4 weeks of just like every day working on it and doing different stuff, but it wasn't like it was work. It was just fun, and I just felt that it needed to happen. And I don't know how you guys all grew up, but we always had under my tree was basically what we needed, not what we wanted.
Yep.
And that's my mom and dad's favorite saying. They both worked very hard, and it was, you'd go to you'd get maybe 4 or 5 things under a sparse tree, and it would be first thing you'd open was socks, then it was underwear, then it was maybe a shirt for school, then it was maybe, and then you went over to you could see, and we couldn't touch them, but I'm looking at them right over here, our stockings, right? And they were heavy, and you'd open them up and it'd be like an orange and an apple. Like, wait a minute. We got that in the refrigerator. What the hell? What are we doing?
My mother-in-law does that. I get an orange every year in my stocking. But we didn't have that tradition growing up. And the first year I went to my mother-in-law's for Christmas, I get an orange, and I had to whisper to my wife, I go, why do I have an orange?
That's just so great, So you might be at one thing that you wanted, but it would be a cheap item, But
see, I have immigrant parents, and I always was envious of all my other friends because they got the Atari, the ColecoVision, and this and that. And then I would get like some little handheld game with dots on it, like Tecmo Football or something. But Tecmo Football came out.
That was awesome.
Right, but it came out like 10 years prior. So it was like what would be considered the Dollar Tree store now. It was like Kmart.
Right.
It was like an end cap. Just get rid of it. But
Totally.
yeah, I got the necessities. I never got.
You were like my friend growing up. I would come over to his house and I go, "What'd you get for Christmas?" And you go, "Popcorn."
Yeah.
I'd like shrink and go. He go, "What you get?" Yeah, I got the same thing, man.
Yeah, exactly. I had a couple buddies that would come over and they'd be like, "Hey man, I got new skis, binding, boots, poles. Man, I got this couple new Overmeyer jackets. I've got this. We're going to Vail." You're like, "You suck."
Right.
What?
Yeah.
That isn't my world. What's up with that?
No,
and
I
they
didn't
didn't realize that they were so well off, and it's weird. And I've had them come back and say, "Geez, that was a real horse's butt there." Rubbing that in, I just was excited that I got it, and you'd say, "Oh, I didn't get anything," you're like, "Oh."
Now, did you change that for your kids?
Oh yeah, of
they're
course.
spoiled.
Yeah, they're getting everything, aren't they, Don?
They're not, but they are at the same time. And
come on,
I
grabbed a couple gifts from the Toys for Tots, and you're giving it regifting.
I tell you,
you're regifting, right?
I tell you what we really need and what we want to do with this new this tool raffle is we need stuff for older kids. All this stuff is from 12 and under. We've been hearing through the Toys for Tots drive in the local area, the Marines have been calling, and I've been talking to a few of them, really gracious people, and they're saying we need stuff for the older teens really bad.
What do you get? I mean, I don't even have kids.
They only want gift cards.
I'm never around kids, so I don't even know what to get little kids
because they're expensive.
Pardon the expression, but I'm the asshole uncle. I've got a little nephew who's like 2 now. He's getting a drum set for.
Oh man!
Yeah, because my wife and I, we're that dick couple.
Right.
So, but we don't know kids, so I don't.
You get them a membership to Steam or Xbox Live.
There you go. Xbox Live. There you go.
But would a kid who needs Toys for Tots?
Yeah, they probably don't have an Xbox One.
Xbox
no,
Live.
that's
just it. So it's like, what
Skateboards.
Where do you go? Skateboard, yeah, you know.
But we're talking about your niece and nephew. You need to get that stuff to drive your sister or brother, whoever we're talking about here, crazy. The drum set might do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my sister had 4 kids, so we sent them laser tag one year.
Oh, that's good too.
Great.
And we made sure that it made lots of noise every time somebody got tagged.
Yes.
And it was like we sent it for all 4 kids.
Here's what I do with my kids. I tell them to go on my Amazon account and
make a wish
put
list.
whatever they want in the wish list.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, and then I just have to click on it.
Sure.
Nice. That's the way to
shop. And then they see that I ordered it, and they know they're.
my kid is easy. My kid doesn't want anything. He never wants anything.
Really?
Yeah, never. I mean, it's the exact opposite.
That's
it's hard
what you get him. Never.
We usually get him like 1 or 2 gifts, and he's really grateful.
Telling me you're maybe getting him stuff throughout the year. He already has it.
No, he just never. No? Even throughout the year, no. He
just doesn't have a big needs or wants list.
He doesn't have a big need or wants. He's got a pocket full of money at all times that he gets from aunts and uncles, and he saves it and doesn't spend it. It's bizarre.
Wow.
He's into clothes. Right.
He sounds a little bit like my kid. My kid's like that too.
Yeah, it's just it's frustrating though when you're shopping for him, and you kind of have the same dilemma, Don. Is that you basically got a bunch of older kids that you don't know what to get them.
Yeah.
What we started doing is we just bought 7 bikes, which is really cool. Which was actually bought by Joe Doyle, one of the guys that I had trained, and he bought the Carbon Tech rod. We got rid of like 6 things that showed up on time, and he paid. He had 1,080. So he actually paid more in toys than he would if we would have called Todd what he donated for it. So,
but Don, the kids are not going to want a Carbon Tech rod. I guarantee it.
I don't know what they're going to do with that. So, but he hauled it in, man. He hauled it in. What's really cool and what I've been doing, guys, is because we're going to have like 10 grand here. And I'm calling, and I called Target a couple days ago, and I said, hey, I'm calling to interview you. And I talked to the manager, and she said, what? And I said, we've got like 10 grand, and we want to come buy more toys, and we're wondering what you're going to do for us. Are you going to give us, what percentage are you going to give us off? And she was like, oh, we'll give you like 15%. I go, okay, well, I'm going to call Walmart and a few others, and we'll get back to you. And she was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think you can do way better than that.
Yeah.
Maybe
for you
30%, and then we're going to turn it back into toys, and we're going to spend it here anyways.
Yeah.
But we're on the interviewing side, and I've never done that before.
Yeah.
My wife's idea. It was my wife's idea, and I was like, honey, that's great. It's amazing. So
I like her.
Yes.
Very cool.
So it worked. You got what, 40%?
It's her birthday today, too. Talk about a cool girl. Here's Johnny Hiley calling me on the line. He's probably like, where are you, Don? So,
well, you know what, Don? We're going to let you go. We really appreciate you coming on. And spending a little time and letting us know how it went. We applaud you. Congratulations on it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you guys so much for having us. And I'm going to jump on with John and thank you all very, very much.
Fantastic.
Right.
Thanks, Don.
Thanks, Don.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Take care.
So cool. Well, we want to thank everyone for tuning in for another episode of PDR Tool Time with your host, John, Daniel, and myself, Vince D'Alessandro. And keep on listening to us. We got a lot of good content coming, and feel free to reach out and ask us questions, or if you want to hear something on the show, let us know that as well, and we'll make it happen.
Know what? I want to say one other thing. I've been reaching out to a lot of techs, and if you got an idea or something you don't quite know how to bring to market, hit me up, hit up Vince, hit up John. We're fine with sending you a non-disclosure agreement and helping you through the process of getting that tool to the market. So I want to extend that invite out to guys.
Yeah. So Daniel, what do you got to say?
Guys, you have to do this. You have to level up your tools.
John?
Don't do stupid stuff.
And I still got to come up with something. This has been another episode of PDR Tool Time.